All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. And I'm so excited to be getting the opportunity to share this class with you guys. If you guys would indulge me just for a couple of minutes and let me share a little bit about myself. I have been using essential oils now for about 2 years, but honestly, I started this journey on toxin-free living probably about I can't even 20 years ago or so when my kids were little, particularly Gabriel. Gabriel has asthma. And so he had a lot of respiratory issues that we had to deal with. And so when he was very young, I kind of became aware of this concept of having a safe home is what I called it. A place where he could come home and he wasn't having to deal with any stuff in the air. So mostly what I would be careful with him was fragrances and odors. Anything that left a smell on clothes, in the house, in the air, we had to be very careful. And so I kind of started, it got on my radar really early, but in the last 2 years, I've gotten much, much more careful about being toxin free. Last year, last January, I made a commitment that I was going to try to make as many of my own personal care products as I could. And so for about a whole year, I was slowly replacing all of my products with better, cleaner things that I made myself. So little by little, I turned over to the point that by the end of the year, I was making my own shampoo, my own face wash, my own face moisturizer, my own deodorant, and not toothpaste. That's the one thing I never did make. But I knew basically everything I was putting on my body, I knew what it was because I either made it or I knew what the products were. And so that's kind of a little bit of my background. And so I'm excited to share this with you. I did want to just say before I get too far into it that there's going to be a lot of information. So please don't feel overwhelmed if wherever you are on the journey. So maybe while I'm talking, I'm going to ask the first question. If you guys can comment in the comments. My first question is on a scale of 1 to 10, how free is your household from toxic products? So one being totally natural and green. I'm never like, I'm very conscious about what I buy. And 10 being I use whatever I find and I never read the labels. So just kind of so I know where people are and where we're coming from. But I want you guys to realize there's going to be a lot of information. So don't feel overwhelmed or intimidated. My biggest advice would be just if you've never done this, if you are just starting and just starting to think about this, just take one step. My biggest advice would be to just, as things run out, make a decision. Is this a product I want to try to replace with something better, something green, or do I just want to stick with it? And then just be happy with that decision. And then when the next thing runs out, make the same decision and just start changing out one thing at a time. So for example, one quick, easy change I was able to make was toothpaste. As soon as the toothpaste ran out, I was like, okay, we're going to have my doTERRA toothpaste ready to replace it. And there we were. And it was super easy, no problem. We switched over. Everything was great. So just be thinking about that in the back of your mind. There is a sheet that goes along with the class. I'm going to be following that sheet. Amanda can put that in the comments for you guys so you guys can see that. And Amanda, while I get some things ready here, do you want to tell me where we're at? What did people say about where they are on that scale?
So we had, someone said that they were a 9, another person said that they were a 2. So we're definitely on the
Oh,
whole gambit.
oh wow. Okay, so we're way on opposite ends. That's great. We'll try to come into the middle. How about that? Awesome. I did forget to say a couple of things. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to kind of do a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into the presentation. Let me share this one here. All right. So if you guys are on your phones, I want you to be able to chat. If you don't know how to chat, just go ahead and you would tap your phone and it should pop up a little menu on the bottom. When you hit participants, you'll have a little chat thing pop up. You can type your message and hit send. And if during the class we get chats, you'll see them in their little bubble. The reason why we want you to chat is because there are 8 classes in this series. And if you attend, or if you watch or attend all 8 and you complete all your 8 Google Forms, you will earn a free diffuser. That's not like get a chance to win. You will earn a free diffuser. So definitely watch the 8 classes and jump in on that opportunity to earn your 8 diffuser, your diffuser, not 8, just 1 diffuser. And then here is some contact information. This is Amanda's contact information. You have her email, you have her YouTube channel, and her dedicated doTERRA phone number there. But another way that we love to have contact with you guys is on Facebook. So our Essential Oil Place is one of the Facebook groups that we're part of. It is run by somebody else, but they do an amazing job. People usually throw on questions on that group and they're answered pretty quickly. And a lot of people chime in with all different kinds of answers. So it's a great place to get some information. You do need a doTERRA account to get on that. So that's that. Our page is called the Enamored with Nature Oil Education page. You do not need a doTERRA account. So it's a great place if you have friends that might be interested in essential oils to, have them join. We're more than glad to have more people on there, but that's a fun place just to stay up with what we're doing. And we try to post fun stuff on there, information and things like that. And when you signed up, you should have gotten something that looks like this, just like a welcome letter, which has a ton of information on there. If you didn't, let the person who told you about this class know so that you can get something like that. It has a ton of great links and information and places where you can get cool information. All right. I'm going to stop that share and I am going to change out here and go to our class sheet. Is there any other housekeeping I'm missing, Amanda? I think I'm good.
Did you want to mention about the interaction tracker, or if you'd like, I can go ahead and make sure that people know about it?
Sure, if you want to.
Great. So we have the interaction tracker for those of you who are not joining us live. So you're just going to make sure that you fill this out completely. That's how we are able to track whether or not you've attended. So you'll find this link to this Google form in the email that we send out with the recording. You'll also find it in the what I call the show notes, which are in the drop down menu if you're looking at the YouTube description for the video.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So if there's no questions about any of that, we're going to jump into the class sheet now. And let me share that. All right. Are you guys seeing that? Sorry. Are you guys seeing that and everything else on my screen? All right. Awesome. So we are talking about toxic-free living. And so we're going to be looking at household products and personal care products because those are the two major sources of toxins that we are exposed to. If you think about it, I don't know if you're like me, but when before I kind of started being aware of these things and having to worry about it with Gabriel, I was just kind of on autopilot for cleaning and buying products for cleaning. There's just the stuff, we all know what it's called, what we use to clean windows, right? It's the blue liquid. You just know that's what you grab and you clean with it. I know there was some things in my household that were staples for cleaning. So when I got married and had my own home, I pick the same products to clean. I didn't really even think about it. I didn't think about labels. I didn't think about any of that stuff. And so I want to kind of challenge you guys a little bit to stop and maybe think a little bit about what you're actually bringing into your home and disengage that autopilot. Maybe start thinking about looking at the labels at least and seeing what's there, because especially on personal care products, we kind of trust the companies that sell it, that it's safe, but is it really safe? Do we know it's safe? I'm going to get into some of that as we move on, but especially with personal care products, there's a study that said, and this is old, so it's probably like, if you look at an updated one, it's probably even more than this now, but on average, an average adult uses 9 or more products on their body for personal care containing about 126 individual ingredients. So if all those ingredients aren't safe for us, like that, maybe even, let's say 100 are safe, but if even just 26 are not safe for us, of those 126. And we're putting these on every single day, day after day, year after year. There's a compounding effect. So even if they're sort of safe, but just not 100% safe, like over years, what does that mean? And so we need to be thinking about that. And just think about all those products. And like when we talk about the compounding effect, like you're talking face wash, face moisturizer, makeup remover, makeup, lipstick, foundation, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, body lotion, that's 10 right there. Think about what other stuff you use: toothpaste, mouthwash, all these different products. They really, it adds up over time. And so we need to really be aware and be thinking about it. This little thing here on this presentation, it says, while some companies while some companies make products that are safe to eat, other companies choose to use human carcinogens or developmental toxins like coal tar and lead acetate. When risky chemicals are used in cosmetics, the stakes are high. These are not trace contaminants like those found at part per million or even part per billion levels in the food and water. These are the base ingredients of the products, just as flour is the base ingredient in bread. These chemicals are found in percent levels in personal care products. Nearly all easily penetrate the skin, and some we ingest directly from our lips or our hands. Because think about it, if there is some of this bad stuff in our lipstick, how many people don't end up licking your lips and swallowing that lipstick? Or you've put lotion on your hands and then you go and eat something that you're touching. It transfers over. So just start thinking, start disengaging that autopilot and start just thinking about what you're putting in your food, or what you're putting on you. So I'm going to actually jump in. I'm going to skip this bottom of page 2, and bottom of page 1. I'm going to start with page 2, if you guys will indulge me on that. So let's start talking about toothpaste. So our mouths are just full of membranes that are mucous membranes that absorb everything that's in there very easily. And Amanda, do you have that toothpaste ready? Have you guys ever read the warnings on your toothpaste? Did you know there was warnings on toothpaste? I didn't know that. There is warnings on toothpaste. Before you start, Amanda, there was one that I heard read to me that said, keep out of reach of children under 6 years of age, which I was like, how many people watch their kids before or even after they're 6 to make sure they're brushing their teeth properly and not swallowing too much? And it said something like, if more than what is needed for brushing is swallowed, contact poison control. Okay, so Amanda, you read the warning label on,
Yep.
on your...
Yeah, so this one again, and this is also even the stuff that dentists give. Sometimes they'll give out things after you have your cleaning or whatever. Those have the same thing. So it says, warning: keep out of the reach of children under 6 years of age. In case of accidental overdose, seek professional assistance or contact Poison Control Center immediately. So it's written right there. It has that warning that says, well, I guess we're in small mode, so you probably can't see it anyway. But yeah, check your toothpaste tubes. That's what it says, and that doesn't feel very safe when you know that's what happens.
Yeah, I just thought to share if you wanted to hold that up real quick.
Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah. All right, so
yep, so there it is, warnings. So and keep out of reach of children under 6. So yeah, so I'm a terrible mom. I let my kids brush their teeth without me watching them. So let me just hold up the doTERRA toothpaste. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's no warnings at all on there.
because the ingredients are that clean that
Exactly.
you could eat the whole tube and
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to contact Poison Control Center.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things I'm going to go ahead and share again. That's one of the things that I just to be thinking about stuff as simple as toothpaste. What are the warnings on our products? One of the other things, there's 2 things I'm going to just touch base real quick. Fluoride is in most toothpastes, and if you look at the warnings of fluoride, it actually says, they put fluoride in there because it's supposed to be good for your teeth. But if you ingest too much fluoride, it can actually hurt your teeth. So it's this kind of, you're walking this fine edge of being careful that you don't get too much, but then how much is too much? And if you're using this day in and day out, every day, twice a day, hopefully, for 365 days a year, what is the compounding effect that's happening there? And you're letting your kids use this, and it's fluorides in our water as well, which we can't always control, the city water. So, you're getting a lot of it. So doTERRA doesn't have fluoride. The other thing in toothpaste that they use as a foaming agent is called sodium lauryl sulfate. It's SLS. Some people can have a sensitivity to that. In fact, one story I heard, a woman's husband was getting sores on his mouth and he didn't understand why. And when they finally switched to a non or an SLS free toothpaste, the sores went away. So there can be things in our toothpaste that we don't even know are attacking our body and causing our body to react. So that's a quick and easy way to make a switch. The next one is the doTERRA deodorant. That was one switch that I made when I made that decision a year back to switch out. I got rid of my old deodorant and I switched and started making my own deodorant. So I actually don't have experience with the doTERRA deodorant yet. I know Amanda does. I make my own, but what I do use, so I'll show you guys a picture of the doTERRA deodorants in a second, but I was gonna just say what I do use, I still make my own, but it does take a little while. So if you guys do make the transition for deodorant, you might need a week or two to kind of give yourselves a little grace. You might hate yourselves because you might stink a little, but your body will adapt and it will change. So I know it took me a little while. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know about this making my own deodorant. But over time, I have actually gotten to the point where I've gone from applying my homemade deodorant once or twice a day to actually being able to kind of go a day without applying deodorant, and instead I kind of give myself a break, and I use a little bit of fractionated coconut oil in my hand, and I use Purify, which did we say that because you're on live you're going to be able to win a sample of Purify today? I don't think I told you guys that.
That's one of
So
the benefits of joining live is that you have the opportunity to win a sample if you're participating. And not only do you get to ask questions at the end after the recording stops so that you get, like one-on-one help, but you also have a chance to win a sample. So yes, Purify is the magic oil of the day.
yes. So I actually will go a day without using deodorant, and I will use the fractionated coconut oil with a drop or two of Purify, and I will actually just rub that into my underarms. TMI, I'm sorry, and that I'll be good for another day. In fact, I might or might not have Purify on right now. But so you're going to want to remember that fact. That's going to probably come up on your Google form in a pinch. If you don't have deodorant, but you've got Purify, it is actually a wonderful deodorant replacement. And so doTERRA does have two. I'm going to see if I can do this quickly or not. doTERRA does have two deodorants that they offer. All right. The one I particularly love, Balance. They have a deodorant that has balance in it. It's really neutral, so men and women can use it, and it's just it's balanced. It's a grounding, amazing blend. So it's a great one to try. But if you're a little more sensitive, you can try the Douglas Fir and Greek Orange. It does not have any baking soda in it. Instead, it uses tapioca starch, and that kind of helps with the smell. So those are the options if for the doTERRA, and they're all free of aluminum, which is of course a good thing, because aluminum, yes, I don't want to forget to talk about aluminum. Let's just stay on deodorants for a minute. So most of the deodorants, besides baking soda or whatever other products might be in deodorant, the biggest offensive thing in deodorants is probably aluminum, mostly because deodorants tend to be antiperspirants, and our body needs to sweat to be able to get rid of toxins. So when you get a deodorant that's an antiperspirant, you're basically stopping your body from being able to release toxins. and your body needs to release toxins, especially when you're putting aluminum on your body. Your body knows that that's not natural and it wants to get rid of it. So when you suppress the sweat from coming out, your body can't excrete the aluminum, so it's going to put that aluminum, it's going to deposit it in different parts of your body, like your muscles, your liver, your spleen, your brain. And once aluminum gets deposited in different parts of your body like that, it's harder to release it and to get it out. So that's one thing you want to avoid with the deodorants, especially with antiperspirants. So the other neat thing about the doTERRA deodorant is that it's not an antiperspirant. It is just a deodorant. So yes, you might find that at first, until your body transitions over, that you might sweat a little bit more. But if you have the good deodorants and the good essential oils that your body knows what to do with, they're gonna naturally help kill those odor causing bacteria to make it a pleasant experience as you go. Shampoos and conditioners. So yes, I used to make my own shampoo, but I have since switched to doTERRA shampoo, which I love. Where I don't even know where to start with shampoos. There's just so much in them that it's like scary. I believe shampoos have that foaming agent as well, the SLS. It's got fragrance, which, let's talk about fragrance. I was going to talk about fragrance during candles, but let's talk a little bit about fragrance now. Fragrance is one of those all catching words, I guess, all encompassing words that a company can use to basically include about 300 different ingredients that they don't have to disclose. And basically what they're saying when they say fragrance is it's a chemical concoction that we came up with to smell like whatever you like in this thing. So they can make something to smell like lavender or orange or vanilla, whatever it is, and call it fragrance. So if it was natural, they would actually tell you it was natural, because that's the buzz thing now. We all want to use natural stuff. So if they could claim something is natural, they're going to put it in the ingredients so that they can charge more, so that they could say it's natural, right? But it's not. So when you see fragrance, it's just a red flag to be careful of what it is that you're actually letting into your home and putting on your body, on your head and your hair, and then washing down all your body. So that is one of the things with talking about fragrance. I wanted to just mention perfumes just a second, because that's where you do get a lot of fragrance. And with essential oils, you can get lotions that have no scent from doTERRA and add your own essential oils and make them smell like whatever you want. You can, if you don't like the smell of the doTERRA shampoo, which actually they're remaking, I don't know how else to say it, the formula for the shampoo. So it's going to be a little bit different than what's on the picture. But if you don't like the smell of what it is, you could always add some different essential oils, maybe for your different needs, to kind of play with that smell. But it's the same thing with perfumes. All those fragrances that are being concocted in some chemical place, you can just eliminate those and instead use doTERRA essential oils. And one of the oils that I love as a personal perfume is Neroli, which I just wanted to product placement. I just wanted to take a minute to just say you've got two
Can you
more days.
unshare so we can see it?
Oh, yes. Ooh. So Neroli is the oil that you can use. It's on sale right now for 10% off, but you can use this as a personal perfume. I love to just take it and roll it on my forearms. And it makes you feel so good and beautiful and confident, and it just smells amazing. So think about that, like the fragrances that you are bringing into your home, either in shampoos and lotions and perfumes and all that stuff, and start thinking about essential oils to replace those. And I'm going to wrap up this last thing here, which is skincare. So doTERRA has at least 2 skincare lines that they offer for us. The Virage in particular is the one that's most minimal ingredients. And so if you're really concerned with how much product you're putting on, how many different ingredients, then Virage is the way to go. It is super clean and super simple products. And there's 4 4 items. So it's a super easy line to use. Again, I make my own stuff, so I don't have a whole lot of experience with the Mirage, but what I have used in fun spa nights and stuff, I just love the way it leaves my skin. I will throw out there for you guys, I do oil cleansing methods. So I really just wash my face with some fractionated coconut oil and some essential oils. And then I moisturize with jojoba oil and other essential oils. And that's all I've been doing for now. But as I see my skin getting a little bit older and maybe needing a little more love, I'm eyeing that Mirage skincare system as a eventual switch over to that. To try to make sure that I'm getting the best care. One just shout out for one of the items in here, the help me out, Amanda. It's the one that has Immortelle in it.
Is the serum, the facial serum?
Yes, the serum. I believe it has all of the oils that are in Immortelle, which are just amazing oils for your skin. It's things like frankincense and sandalwood and rose, which all are great for skin. And they're the more expensive oils too. So it's a great way to get some great oils on your skin at a fraction of what it would cost for you to buy all those individually and make your own version of a face serum. All right. Any questions on that? I'm giving you guys a lot of information and I want to make sure that you guys aren't feeling overwhelmed. You all doing good? All right.
Do you have any questions for us? I'm kind of curious if anybody so far has seen anything that they think they might want to swap out. But should we ask that question later though? I don't know.
We can, maybe as I'm talking, think about what maybe one thing you're willing to swap out. And if something all of a sudden comes up that you're like, this is what I want to swap out, throw it in the comments and we'll be watching for your comments. I don't have another question until very soon. Actually, I don't even think it's a question, but anyways. All right. So we're going to transition now to household products. Oh, did I not? All right. You guys seeing that?
Yes.
All right. So let's transition over to household. Oh, you know what? I didn't say something I wanted to say. So preservatives. Can we go back a second? Preservatives in your cleaners, in your facial products. So does anybody know what preservatives are? I just learned this and I was just like, oh my goodness. Preservatives by nature are cytotoxic. That's a big word. In other words, they basically kill cells. And so when they are absorbed into our body, they can be hazardous to our bodies. And so their levels are very restricted. And so they're supposed to be present in very low percentages in any skincare products. And they're using them, preservatives and skincare products, so that they can extend the shelf life. And so basically what they're saying is, a little bit of poison is okay. Just in really, really small amounts. It's okay. And I'm kind of feeling like that's not good because it's a small amount, but if it's something I'm using twice a day on my face, every day, for years, that little tiny bit is going to add up. Again, talking about that compounding effect. And so, yeah, Virage or even the other skincare product that doTERRA, skincare line that doTERRA offers, it is going to not have any preservatives in it that are harmful to your skin. So why not we make a choice for stuff that has no poison instead of just a little bit of poison? You know, like let's just skip the poison. All right. Okay, so household products. Their On Guard cleaner. I love, love, love the On Guard cleaner. This is what it looks like. It's I'm just going to jump to the warnings on this a second.
Can you unshare so we can see them?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. So if you see, I don't know if you could see the warnings there, but there's basically I think it's 3 sentences. I did a video about this because I was floored when they told me what the warnings were. It says, caution, keep out of reach of children, which makes sense. You don't want any cleaners really to be in the reach of children. We just want to be safe. But then it says, if cleaner gets in eyes, rinse thoroughly with water. Okay, that sounds not too bad. Then, if swallowed, drink a glass of water to dilute. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. So
Wow.
I challenge you guys, if you walk away from your computers to go find a cleanser that you can read your warnings on, I will let you go. But look at your cleaners again, going back to the disengage the autopilot and read your labels and see what it says, see what the warnings say and what you're bringing into your home. So this particular cleaner, if I swallowed it, I would just need to drink water to dilute it first. Second, it has 5 milliliters of On Guard in it. So it has all the immune boosting properties of On Guard, plus the like virus killing properties of On Guard. If you go and look at like PubMed and look at the individual oils in On Guard, you'll see like the different research that's been done about how it fights viruses and things like that. And so all of that power is in here. And I know sometimes when I do this class, people ask, well, are you going to give us recipes for DIYs? Well, I'm going to give you the recipes. Look on your bottle and they're right there. Okay. You actually, for an all-purpose cleaner, you can just do 2 tablespoons of this in, what does it say? In 24 ounces of water, and you'll just have an all-purpose cleaner. If you want to do dishes, you go ahead and do 3 tablespoons in a gallon of water. And so it'll tell you what to do with this. Later on, I'll give you just one recipe for one cleaner, and I'll talk about a couple of other things. But really, you just need to use this. And in most recipes that I have found that I've used, whenever it says use Castile soap, I use this. And this is my version of Castile soap. So another great way, not only to save money, because this replaces so many products, but another way to make a big impact in changing the amount of toxins you're bringing into your home is to switch over to the On Guard Concentrate Cleaner. The other one I want to talk about now is the foaming hand wash. That's a fun one. I mean, we have soap in every room in our house, right? Well, not every room, but every bathroom, in the kitchen. And the thing with soaps nowadays is it's really hard to find a soap that doesn't have antibacterial stuff in it. And the antibacterial stuff is great for killing bacteria, but it kills all bacteria, good and bad bacteria. And in our soaps, we want to have, in our hands, we want to have some good bacteria because, our bodies were produced and made and created with bacteria on them that are good bacteria that help fight bad stuff. So if you're constantly using this antibacterial stuff and wiping off all of the bacteria on your hands, and then you go touch something that has some bad bugs on it or some cooties on it, and they get on your hands won't have that good bacteria to help fight it off. So you want to it's this fine line of, you want to clean your hands, you want to get the bad bacteria off, but you want to keep the good bacteria. And the neat thing with essential oils like the On Guard that's in the hand soap is that they know the difference between good and bad bacteria. So they will track down the bad stuff, help eliminate the bad stuff, but they'll leave the good stuff. So your hands still have the good bacteria that they can take care of, that they can take care of the bad stuff. So I don't have the hand soap handy here, but it is great. And Doterra has the little foaming bottles and everything, which I just have those all over my house because I love them. The next thing is candles. How many of us love candles? I love candles. I do. In fact, somebody gave me a housewarming gift with a candle, and I was like, oh, this is so pretty. I'm never going to use it, but thank you. I didn't tell them I wasn't going to use it, but I was just like, so I love candles so much that I used to do candle parties. There's just so much that, from the fragrance to the fact that what are you burning in the wicks? If you can find really good, safe, maybe soy-based candles, maybe I would be 90% okay with it. But then you're still asking yourself, what are they using for fragrance? What are they using to make the candle smell so good? If it's fragrance, you go back to the whole, there's 300 things that could be fragrance. It's a chemical concoction. So why not just eliminate the candles, and I know it hurts, but eliminate the candles and switch to a diffuser. Then you can use the oils for not only their smelly properties, but their emotional properties. I know I've shared with some of you my whole lemongrass story, how I literally saw it change somebody's personality in one night, from like Eeyore to really super happy. It's Lemongrass has been a road trip lifesaver for me, using it in a diffuser in the car. And so just, you can pick what mood you want to be in based on the oils you use. If you want to wake up in the morning, you put some peppermint in your diffuser. If you want to wind down at night, you throw some lavender or some serenity in there. If you need to focus during the day, throw some rosemary with peppermint in there. You know, there's so many different things that you can do to address what you need throughout the day, instead of just having these candles that you just don't know what you're breathing in. So that's that. And then the last one I want to touch on is in the laundry detergent. I do have the laundry detergent, and I don't want to belabor the issue, but I wanted to point out, at least here, there's no warning labels. There's no warning or cautions on, oh, there is one: avoid eye contact and for external use. So please don't drink the On Guard detergent. But that's the only warnings. Again, it's safe. And your clothes, you're wearing your clothes 24/7, right? And so why not think about how you're washing your clothes and what you're putting on it? So the On Guard is super concentrated. You just need a little tiny bit. About 2 tablespoons does a load. And this little bottle here does 64 loads. And it's safe and clean.
My personal experience with that is I most often split it into 3 bottles, because I have, teenagers and kids who are preteens who I'm trying to teach them how to do the laundry themselves, and they just cannot get it through their heads to only do like to the lowest point of that black cap. So I do one step ahead of them. I've saved 2 of my other bottles, and so when my new bottle comes in, I put a third in each, and then fill the rest with the water. That way, when they fill it completely up to the top of that black thing, then they still are getting the right amount for that particular load, and it's not too much. And this goes so far. So I make it go 3 times more than 64 or whatever it is. So it's great.
Yeah.
Very effective.
Yes, I just recently did the switch to the laundry detergent, which I hadn't done yet, but I'm so glad I did. I have really stinky gym clothes, and it has been doing a great job at getting the scent out. And just the tiniest little bit, you really are almost like, is that going to be enough? And it really is. In fact, I've heard if you use too much, it actually makes your clothes stinky. So you really want to follow what it says, not overdo it. Yeah.
Yep.
So I did want to just do a shout out real quick, because you're going to need this for your Google form. Is remember what the warning is. Is that what the remember what you need to do if you decide to drink some On Guard concentrate cleaner. Does everybody remember what I said? The warning said, I'll read it one more time. The warning said, if swallowed, drink a glass of water to dilute. Okay. And the other thing you might want to remember is, what is the doTERRA toothpaste missing that other toothpastes have? What does the doTERRA toothpaste label missing that other toothpastes actually have? Does everybody remember that?
The warnings.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So those are your cheats for the Google thing.
And what's the code word? Or do you get to tell us the code word later?
Oh, yes. Let's talk about the code word, because thank you for reminding me. So the couple of things with laundry that you can do is to help maybe boost, if you need to boost the laundry detergent, is one, you can add some Purify to your laundry. All you need is like 1 drop for regular loads, 2 drops if you've got super stinky clothes. But Purify is a great oil to use. I actually have Purify in my laundry room with this little droppy thing. So I can just go ahead and make sure I just drop 1 drop of the oil in my clothes, or 2 drops if I need it. So purify, but that didn't help you with the code word. The code word is aluminum. Because remember, aluminum in the deodorants, that it's really not great for you. So just remember aluminum, that you want to get that out of your life. That's going to be the code word for it. All right. The other little bit quick laundry tips, and then I'll keep this going because I feel like it's getting really long. Sorry. Is if you want to get rid of dryer sheets, try using wool dryer balls instead. Those are really good. And either one, you can also throw some Epsom salts in your load, and that will help soften your clothes as well, or some vinegar in the rinse. So those are just some laundry tips. So gosh, I have so much more to say. I'm going to try to shorten it really quick. So LRP, if you're going to make these changes, LRP is the best way to go. We've talked about it before, but LRP is loyalty rewards program. If you have your own account, you're getting 25% off already. But if you sign up through LRP, you're going to get points back as well. So if you order at least 50 product points in product, you're going to start earning points back that you can use later to buy products. So this is just one example of what you could get. And just a quick shout out to the Symphony of the Cells here. It is a process where we layer oils on the spine of the back. And this is just one of the layerings that you could do, one of the applications that you could do to just kind of help with eliminating toxins in your life, out of your body. So I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna share the presentation really quick, and then I'm gonna give it over to Amanda here. There's just 2 quick things I wanna say before. All right, so we saw the deodorants. All right, because Neroli, oh, sorry guys. Because Neroli is on sale, I just wanted to give you an FYI. If you want to take a quick screenshot, Neroli is on sale for 10% off. And this is just a fun blend that you can make for a face serum if you want to replace a moisturizer. If you need that, we can put it in the show notes, or you can text Amanda or I, and we'll get that to you. And then there's some DIY books that you can use to find recipes to start replacing some of your cleaners. Amanda can put those links in the chat. So you guys can get those as well as in the show notes. The first one I will just mention is the easiest to find because it is right on the doTERRA website. It's just cleaning with essential oils from doTERRA. And it's got lots of great recipes. Just some quick thoughts about making your own cleaners. If you want to screenshot this, there's some things you don't want to put together, but the main one I wanted to mention was vinegar and baking soda. If a recipe calls for vinegar and baking soda, I would say leave the vinegar out, make the recipe with the baking soda, work the baking soda into whatever you're cleaning, and then spray or add the vinegar after, because the that chemical action that happens is what will help draw out the dirt basically that you're trying to get out. So I know a lot of recipes call for putting those together. My recommendation would be keep them apart. And then also vinegar and Castile soap. You don't want to mix those. Then this is the recipe I was giving you because there's not really a great one that doTERRA sells. So if you want to make like a squeeze gel that's a little more abrasive, you can make this. If you have any issues with borax, just add more baking soda and leave out the borax, that's fine. And where it says Castile soap, just use the On Guard Concentrate Cleaner. And if you screenshot this, it gives you all the directions. I've been using this for the last 3 weeks in my home and I'm loving it. So, what essential oils should you use if you make your own DIY cleaners? Which actually, let me ask you guys, what is keeping you from making your own DIY cleaners? If you want to throw that in the chats. So what essential oils should I use? Basically anything citrus is great. and there's a list of some single oils that you can use, and you don't have to stick to this list. You can use other stuff. Some blends you could use is Purify, again, is a great oil to use. It's a great cleanser. On Guard, Slim and Sassy kind of sounds funny, like, but that's for something totally different. But it's got some great oils in there that are great, have great cleaning and cleansing properties. So it's not a bad one to use. My expert tip is use an oil that will make you feel happy and leave you smiling when you're done cleaning. That's my advice. There are lots of times when I'm done cleaning and I have a big old smile on my face, and it's because of the oils. So um, I talked a little bit about LRP, and I already mentioned the neroli. There is, if you guys are struggling with respiratory issues, doTERRA just released their respiratory wellness program. I just wanted to point that out. If you start getting the cleansers, the bad toxins out of your house, but you're still dealing with some respiratory issues, this might be something to consider, where they've put together a 3-month package where you can just zone in on those respiratory issues, and they'll give you exactly what you need for that. So just a shout out for that. And Amanda, do you want to take it over? I'm sorry, I went longer probably than I needed to go, but
That's okay. I'll try to make this fairly short. Something that I find, I don't know, I think significant is 85% of all the people who love doTERRA started out just like I did and just wanted to live the wellness lifestyle. And that is pretty much where doTERRA and where I feel like we are kind of excelling at supporting that person, giving all the resources. You got the podcasts, you got the web pages, you got, in a community group like what we have right now, you have the Facebook groups and the virtual events and the live events where you actually meet person to person, and there's coaching going on, emails and all this kind of stuff. So education is the way that we bless people who are wanting to just live the wellness lifestyle and get empowered with essential oils and know how to use what's in their home. Now, some people will find that they are edging into a person number 2, which is the sharer. And that kind of person is, in my case, that was just me at those homeschool group meetups. I'm the one who has something that I want to give you when I find out that you have a headache and that you've already popped, 8 ibuprofen that day. I have something that's better than that, sweetie. I can't stop myself from sharing. And so doTERRA actually supports that kind of person by offering what we call free natural health care with doTERRA. And that goes something like you get your products paid for and, get a little bit of extra income that covers what you want to be able to use it for as you get empowered yourself and are talking just with your close connections. That becomes something super, super easy to do. And then the third kind of person is, well, yeah, so it turns out that that was me too, which I didn't think it was me in the beginning. But I wanted to earn an income and to make an impact. And so you may also be sitting there thinking, there's all these cool testimonies that Marcella and Amanda are always talking about like people who've like really had like a positive change in their life because of using these oils or these supplements. And that would be really cool to feel like I was making a difference by helping people be empowered. And so that can be you too. In fact, I have 2 locations on my team that I'm looking specifically for some people who have a dream of empowering other moms specifically and who want to be able to be paid for that. And doTERRA has a great, really, really great compensation plan to help us have a freedom life where it's not so much trading hours for dollars, which I'll talk more about. So have you guys ever heard that story about the pipeline and versus hauling buckets? The main idea here is this woman from the village is carrying her buckets, just loads and loads of buckets on all these sticks across her back. And she's trudging to her village every day. The more buckets she hauls, the more money she gets. But what happens inevitably is, as every mom does, we twist an ankle here or there. We have a bad day. A child gets sick. And when we don't get to haul those buckets, and that means those dollars don't appear in our wallet anymore. So what's a woman to do to help support herself? And what if this woman also feels like there may be a deeper calling on her life that like needs some time freedom to be able to accomplish? And during this is when the idea of building a pipeline comes into play, using the spare time and spare money for materials to be able to slowly but surely and consistently make that dream come true, so that the day that the spigot gets turned on in the village, that water is not only providing people with something good and also providing that woman with her income, and it's also allowing her the time freedom to do the things that she knows are really, really important. So that I think is huge. And you might be wondering, so as that relates to doTERRA, what does that even look like? How to make money. This is the basics of it. So sample, teach, enroll, and support. All I do in building my dream, which I'll tell you about why I wanted to do this in the first place. Well, yeah. Okay. So what had happened for me was I um I had already been using doTERRA for about a year or so. I had already found that I was like, naturally just telling everybody what worked for me. And I was already getting just a little bit here and there, spotty spots amounts of income from doTERRA. But I had this experience where one of my kids was jumping and bit his tongue so hard. I actually thought that I might have to unattach it to get it to the hospital easier so it could be reattached. Like there was so much blood, and I was just like crazy worried about him. And I had a 4-month-old baby, and I was yelling at my 12-year-old to change the baby's diaper and pack the thing. And, where's my 4-year-old's shoes? And there was all these things. And I was on the phone with my pediatrician father-in-law. And I was like, was all these things, but as a desperate grasp for something, I took out a bottle of helichrysum and I put the drop on this baby's tongue. Who's a little over 2 years old, 2 years and 4 months. And within a few minutes, he seemed better. And then 10 minutes after that, I put one more drop on his tongue. And not only by that time was the blood stopped, but it kind of seemed like it was going back together. And it was the most odd feeling. And at the moment, I felt so grateful, so thankful. And I had this vision like, what if I wasn't the only empowered mom? What if I could give this gift to others? What if I could build a community of women who were able to teach others to do these kinds of things and have these tools in their home? And that just meant the world to me. And that kind of idea, that's the impact that I want to make. And so that's what drives me to do what I do, which is I sample, I teach, I enroll, and I support. And all there is to that is just I give people things that I think will help them. And then I follow up to make sure it did help you. Do you want to learn more? Awesome. I'm teaching a class. Or in your case, you may say, my friend Amanda or Marcella is teaching a class. And then to help them be like, yeah, so in your particular case, you're going to want to do this because you have this thing for your husband and your dog needs that. And what about your mom? And so helping them find exactly what they need so that when they enroll, they get what they want. And then supporting them with that education. Remember, 85% of all the people only want to live the health, the wellness lifestyle. And that's totally, totally cool. So that's all there is to doing this. And I feel like it's a very empowering, fantastic way to live my life. And so worth it. So, but I also earn more than just money, which is great. There's many free products. We've mentioned a couple of things like that with the loyalty rewards program, but there's other like incentives that come in just because of how the compensation plan works and things like that. My own health, this whole idea of improving your health, huge. Like I cannot tell you guys how many positive changes there have been in my own health. Just being a mother of 5, you have to keep up with your own self-care. And I do not think that I would be near as healthy as I am if I didn't have doTERRA in my life. The idea of living with purpose, oh, that just gives me so much joy to feel like the choices that I'm making are really beneficial for the globe. They're beneficial for, well, yeah, it goes into the whole change the world too. The co-impact sourcing stories that I just feel so strongly that the way doTERRA is doing all of the things, the way they source, the way they keep their purity, the way
the way they are supporting us when we have those tools so that we can learn more. It's just this beautiful, beautiful thing. So for me, it is the
Mhm.
right choice. And if you think it might be the right choice and you're a number two or number three as well, let's get together. We can have some more fun. All right, Marcella, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions that maybe we could answer on the recording? Otherwise, we'll stop and then we could take some more personalized questions. Mhm. All right. Well, guys, thank you for being a part of this. The people live stay. I'm just going to stop the recording. Thank you guys for watching, and remember to fill out your Google form.